great film.
Whew.
What a great film.
Hey guys, welcome back to Movieclips' 31 Days of Horror. I'm JS.
And I'm Zach.
And tonight we're discussing the TV miniseries, The Shining.
The Shining, the masterpiece.
1997,
Yeah,
not that overrated,
not the overrated
Kubrick.
film, no.
Oh wait, that is the one we're talking about.
Yeah, I guess it is.
What are your thoughts on The Shining? And we should just say straight up, like, if you haven't seen The Shining, you probably want to stop watching this, because we're going to be getting into anything and everything.
In my opinion, it's the best horror film ever made. And
Absolutely.
Probably my favorite Kubrick film, and that's saying a lot.
I can't go so far as saying it's my favorite Kubrick film, but it's definitely one of my favorite horror films of all time. What do you love about The Shining?
It's got this feeling, this aura. You're in a maze, and it's kind of funny because if you look at the companion film, which we'll talk about, Room 237, not to get off on tangent, but they talk a lot about how the film itself is a labyrinth, and in the movie, The Shining, there's the labyrinth that is the maze outside the hotel. And the whole film is kind of like that. There's all these hidden meanings, and once you start watching it, you start to notice all these things that kind of tie everything up. But
one of my favorite visual set pieces in this film is not only the maze outside of the Overlook Hotel, but they have like this replica that's inside. And there's this fascinating sequence where we have Jack Torrance, who's played by Jack Nicholson. He's just sort of like looking into it. And we see his wife, played by Shelley Duvall, and his son, Danny, played by Danny Lloyd, who are actually running through this maze. It's just a really cool visual effects shot. But yeah, I'm there with you. When you get to the Overlook Hotel, you know something's wrong. And it definitely takes its time. It's a slow burn of a horror film.
And I'm a big fan of movies that incorporate the places, the setting for the film as a character, and that's what I love most about this film. Is if you're ever a kid who was afraid of grandma's attic or something like that, The Shining just makes you really afraid to even stay at a hotel when you're a little kid, because you think there's going to be twins trying to murder you the entire time.
And it affects each of the characters pretty differently. Jack suffers from alcoholism. He's going through withdrawals, and he's the one who suffers some cabin fever type of mishaps, as it were. And he's definitely seeing things. His son, like you mentioned, those twins. What is in room 237?
Based off, I forgot the famous photograph that is based off of, but or the framing, the composition. But I mean, the cinematography in The Shining is hands down just.
John Alcott, who also shot some of other Kubrick's most visionary masterpieces, like Clockwork Orange. So let's talk a little bit about Room 237. We alluded to this earlier. This is a documentary that was in festivals last year, got a limited theatrical release this year, and it's currently streaming on Netflix Instant. Less a movie about The Shining and maybe more about fandom and the theories that you could take. But one of the cool things about The Shining is that it's very open to interpretation.
That is definitely true. There's a lot of hidden meaning, symbolism. It's a puzzle. That's what, if somebody was like, what is The Shining? It's a puzzle, but it's very cerebral, and I wouldn't say, I don't know. I think it's a flawless film, personally. But
definitely, the craft is all on screen. It's impeccable. Shelley Duvall is one of the babes of cinema, so how could you not want to look at her for 2.5 hours?
That's true.
But I think fine work is put in from everyone. Danny Lloyd, this was his one and only film, and now he's a science teacher in Kentucky, actually.
That's funny.
But I think he's a great child actor, and he's not like the most kids you see in horror movies who are just dumb as rocks. Like there's that scene at the end where he's covering his tracks in the snow.
My actual favorite shot in the film is when he's riding the bike around.
The big wheel.
The big wheel on the carpet, and just that sound of like it hitting the carpet, hitting the hardwood, hitting the carpet. I mean, it's just disturbing, little nerve-wrenching things like that. But
Yeah, it's the little things that pay off for the one big thing, and that is The Shining. One last note is Wendy Carlos's score is fabulous.
Yeah.
You hear that at the very opening credits when we have this helicopter shot of him first driving up to the hotel, and wow, it really has an impact. It is so eerie. Absolutely. All right, well, tune in tomorrow to see what we'll be reviewing next. This is 31 Days of Halloween. Yeah. I'm JS.
And I'm Zach.
Oh,